Coming up next, live coverage of the Irondequoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Irondequoit's government access channel. Coming up next, live coverage of the Irondequoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Irondequoit's government access channel.
Irondequoit Town Board meeting to order. And to help us with our first agenda item and the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to welcome the Weeblos from Cub Scout Pack 203 who are here tonight working on their citizen pins. And they joined us today to sit through the town board meeting a little bit and learn a little bit about local government and how we work. And so I want to welcome their den leader, Thad Talier, and ask if Charles Boer, Aiden Capizzuto, James Casso, Dylan Darling Marchetti, Patrick DiCarlo, Joseph Fabrici, Liam Gordon, Aiden Hanford, Matthew Jorstad, Nathaniel Kirshner, Zachary Patterson, Greg Raymond, Leo Talier, Gavin Tucker, and Michael Wan. If you guys could all come forward. Great. Thank you, gentlemen. And if we could all rise, and they'll lead us in the saying of the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, and welcome to the town board meeting. I hope you find it interesting and learn a lot tonight. So we appreciate it and welcome to Town Hall. Go ahead,
Roll
Barbara.
call. Councilwoman Barnum.
Present.
Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Councilman Seeley. Councilwoman Skrobak.
Present.
Supervisor Bello.
Here.
And attorney for the town.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, for the first presentation tonight, I know we have a packed house, and we'll move through these one at a time. The first presentation, I'd like to call forward our town historian, Patricia Wayne. There you are.
Supervisor Bello and members of the board, it is my pleasure tonight to introduce Gretchen LaRosa. The Preservation Commission of the town at various times awards plaques to owners of historic homes that have maintained their historic integrity. It is my pleasure tonight to award a plaque to Gretchen LaRosa. And Gretchen will tell you a little bit about her home,
Great.
her family.
My family were contractors. My great-grandfather came from Germany, and in the 1800s, he and his wife and 5 sons, and he started a company building houses, and it turned into a great big company here in Rochester. And in fact, the town hall was built by A. Frederick & Sons Company, as evidenced on the plaque in the hall. You might want to take a look. So I can skip a lot of things that I was going to say because it's a packed house.
It's okay.
But, our home was built by my grandfather in 1916, so it's coming up on 100 years old, and it's been in the family all this time. We live in it now, of course. And it was all random cobblestone or stone that they found in the fields in the area. So it's kind of a one of a kind. And I guess that's about all I'll say because of the time limits.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So we have,
I can't say
so it's my honor to present with you, on behalf of the town and our town historian, Patricia Wade, a plaque
Oh, that's
recognizing
lovely.
the historic property at your house. So. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, and so the next thing we're going to do today is one of my favorite jobs as town supervisors, to acknowledge some extraordinarily talented young people we have in our community. This year has been a very successful year for some of our youth sports programs in Irondequoit. Particularly, we've had 2 sports teams this past season, one at West Irondequoit High School, the other at Eastridge High School, win the Section 5 championships. We've also had really a historic performance by our Pop Warner Screaming Eagles football team as well. And so tonight we're going to recognize some of that talent and hard work and dedication that really went into this extraordinary effort. The first team that I want to recognize today, and so if they're out in the hallway, I'm going to ask them all to come forward, is the Pop Warner Screaming Eagles football team. So if I could have Coach Victor Davidson and his team, come on up, guys. Yeah, circle right around here. Is everybody here? All right, these young men, they finished the 2014 season undefeated this year and went 13-0. That's a big accomplishment. They're the Greater Rochester Pop Warner champions. They won in October of this past fall. They're also the New York State Pop Warner champions at a game that they won over the Bethlehem Eagles in November. And they're also, and now this is a historic accomplishment for these young men, they won the Eastern Regional Pop Warner Championship game right after Thanksgiving, that weekend after Thanksgiving, defeating the Delmar Wildcats, which was a team from Delaware. The game, they traveled all the way to New Jersey, right, that weekend after Thanksgiving, and they really made us proud. And so tonight the town board wanted to recognize all their accomplishments with a proclamation that we have. And I'll read the proclamation for you. It says, whereas the town of Irondequoit is fortunate to have hundreds of youth who participate annually in athletic competition. And whereas the spirit of athletic competition impresses on youth important values such as discipline, perseverance, and cooperation. And whereas these young athletes devote countless hours to their team and represent their community with dignity. And whereas the 2014 Screamin' Eagles football team went undefeated, 13-0, and culminated their stunning season with a victory at the Division III Regional Championship on November 29, 2014. And whereas the Screamin' Eagles coach Victor Davidson and his assistant coaches should be congratulated for leading these fine athletes to the Division III Regional Championship, and whereas the town of Irondequoit is especially proud to recognize the accomplishments of its young residents. So now, therefore, let it be known that we, Supervisor Adam Bello, and the town board, on behalf of the entire town of Irondequoit, do hereby recognize and congratulate the Irondequoit Screamin' Eagles for winning the 2014 Eastern Regional Pop Warner Pee Wee Division III Championship. Congratulations. Pause for a quick second and take a group picture. And where's everybody? Come on around here.
Not all you, not all you.
Yeah, look this way. On this way. I'm going to come in the back here so I'm taller. I'll stand back here.
You guys already know.
Slightly angle this way. So
The guys have done this.
get him out of the way here. Absolutely. All right, guys, everybody look this way. If you can't see the lens, I can't see you, so if you can just kind of tuck around each other. All right, ready? And 3, 2, 1. I'll do a couple. 3, 2, 1. Everybody happy behind me? All good?
All right, guys.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
They got a repeat. We'll try. Right. Thank you. I know you guys put in a lot of work for this too. Nice job. Thank you.
I'm gonna go with Dad.
Good job, guys. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Hey, did you get all the names for the official record? Did they sign the ledger?
They didn't sign anything, so I...
Okay. Yep, you guys stay down here. We have a couple more.
Oh, well, those will be the next kids that Danny coaches.
Well, there's a Bethlehem. Yes. But the Delmar was Delaware. This is Delmar.
Okay, the next team that we're going to recognize tonight also had a real significant accomplishment today that I know we're all incredibly proud of. The Eastridge Irondequoit Lancers boys volleyball team. This year they won the Section 5 Class B championship by defeating Mid Lakes High School 3-1. And this is a significant achievement. This is their first sectional win since 2001. So they did a fantastic job. So I want to invite Coach Odell and the athletes forward, and I have a proclamation I want to read for you. What's that? Yep, come on forward so everybody can see you. All right. It says, whereas the town of Irondequoit is fortunate to have hundreds of students athletes who compete annually in interscholastic competition, and whereas these students devote countless hours to their team, represent their school with dignity to the rest of the greater Rochester area, and instill pride in their community. And whereas the 2014 East Irondequoit Lancer boys volleyball team competed in the Section 5 Class B Championship on November 4th, 2014 in Webster, New York, and defeated Mid Lakes High School 3-1 to win their first sectional title since 2001. And whereas the Lancers coach Kevin Odell and his assistant coaches should be congratulated for leading these fine student athletes to the Section 5 championship. And whereas the town of Irondequoit is especially proud to recognize the accomplishments of its student residents. And now, therefore, let it be known that we, Supervisor Bello and the town board, on behalf of the entire town of Irondequoit, do hereby recognize and congratulate the Eastridge Lancer boys volleyball team for winning the 2014 Section 5 Class B championships. Congratulations. Actually, can we just pause for a quick picture, too?
This way again. Alright, and if you can just tuck to the back just a touch. Perfect. There we go. Now we got everybody. Alright, and we'll do a couple. 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. We could do this all night. This is great. So, all right. So for the last proclamation we have tonight, I want to invite forward the Irondequoit Eagles football team. Come on forward, guys. And their coach, led by their coach Daniel Victor. Sorry, Coach Victor. Oh, did he? Okay. All right. Come on, guys. Come on forward. All right, so again, here we have another group of young athletes, again with a significant accomplishment. This year, the Irondequoit Eagles football team won the Class 5 Section A championship back on November 7th by defeating Greece Athena High School. Actually, I was there. I got to flip the coin at the beginning of the game, so maybe I'm your good luck charm. But anyways, and then they competed in the quarterfinal and advanced to the state semifinal for the first time in the school's history. So this was really a historic moment again for another Irondequoit team. And so we wanted to recognize them with a proclamation tonight. And I'll read the proclamation. It says, whereas, let's go to this part. Whereas the 2014 Irondequoit Eagles football team competed in the Section 5 Class A championship on November 7th in Rochester, New York, and defeated Greece Athena High School 29-22 for their first sectional football title since 2010. And whereas the Eagles scored the winning touchdown with just 70 seconds remaining, the culmination of an impressive 97-yard scoring drive. And whereas on November 14th, the Eagles competed in the Class A state quarterfinal in Buffalo and staged a come-from-behind victory over Sweet Home of Section 6 and advanced to the state semifinal for the first time in the school's history. And whereas Eagle coach Daniel Fitcher and his assistant coaches should be commended for leading these admirable student athletes on their championship run. And whereas the town of Irondequoit is especially proud to recognize the accomplishments of all of its student residents. So now, therefore, let it be known that we, Supervisor Bello and the town board, on behalf of the entire town of Irondequoit, do hereby recognize and congratulate the Irondequoit Eagles for winning the 2014 Section 5 Class A championship.
Don't trust a Caesar with anything. Yeah, right. All right, we're gonna be able to fit into a picture.
This way. Sorry. Those in the back, if you can just kind of tuck around to the sides for me. Just because I can't see it. Can you go to the sides just because, yeah, I can't see you back there, unfortunately. Come on over to the side. Oh, that's a tall athlete, too. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get started. All right. We got everybody here. All right, everybody up this way. And 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Double check. Good. One more. And good. Thank you, guys.
Oh, you're welcome, guys. Good job.
There it is.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much. Couldn't be seen better. I'll replace it. Huh? No.
Very strong, very good. He was one of my son's trainers for track.
Your son a runner?
He was. He was in high school, then he made a decision to be soccer. But the way he
Oh, he played
trained,
soccer, right, huh?
they wanted him to get to voted like 7th grade as being the up and coming.
What was his event? What event did he run?
The long, the 5 minutes go. The long run.
Yeah.
As long as
Kind of curious.
Yeah. That's right.
All right, thank you. That was exciting and something I hope and I know and I expect we're going to be able to do again in the future. So congratulations to all those young men and all their accomplishments this year. The next agenda item is public input. I did not see anybody signed up to speak. Was anybody here that would like to address the board but didn't have a chance to sign up? Okay, seeing none, well, seeing none, we can move on to the financial report.
The financial report as of November 30th, 2014. After 11 months, the town's expenses are less than the 91.7% of the year that has elapsed. The total expenditures of $25,571,000 are favorable for the town as a whole, equating to 80.5% of budget. The general fund expenses of $14,997,000 are under budget as well, at 81.4%. Altogether, expenditures in the highway funds are $4,953,000, which equates to 86.9% of budget. The highway expenses include encumbrances for installment debt, equipment parts, gas, and fuel. Expenditures in the other major funds are below budget, are below the 91.7% of budget. Expenses in the library fund are $1,573,000 81.5% of budget. The consolidated sewer expenditures are $2,721,000. That equates to 70.7% of budget. Stormwater Drainage Fund has expended $360,000, 45.7% of its budget. Again, expenditures for the major funds, for all major funds, are currently below budget. The revenues recorded by the general fund are $16,168,000, and that translates to 88.5% of budget. Included in the total amount received is $10.5 million of real estate tax, 8 months of sales tax, $2,278,000, 3 months of mortgage tax, $114,000, 100% of state aid is in, $613,000. Also, 6 months of franchise cable TV revenue of $370,000 has been received. Regarding the other revenue line items, cemetery, fines and bail forfeitures, and other sources of revenue have received at least 91.7% of budget, which is equivalent to the percent of the year that has elapsed. The favorability in other sources of revenue is driven primarily by property maintenance. That line item has been favorable and for several months. Currently, it is 162% of budget for a total of $292,000. The bails and fines revenue contains a one-time $100,000 code violations fine from the Metley Center. For the total town, $29.1 million, or 92% of revenue, has been received to date. $16.3 million is real estate tax. The library has received 98% of its revenue, $1,903,000. $5,495,000 has been recorded by the highway funds. That represents 96.5% of the budget for the consolidated highway funds. $3.8 million is in for sewer. That's 101% of that, but 100.1% of that budget. And please note that an additional $383,000 of mortgage tax was received this week and will be included in the December report. This concludes my financial report for the month of November.
Great, thank you, Annie.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions or comments from the board members? Okay, seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve the financial report.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Approval of minutes, November 6, 2014, the special town board meeting, public hearing.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Okay, are there any questions or comments about the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
November 13, 2014, the workshop meeting.
I just have to abstain because I wasn't present.
Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry, so we had 4 ayes and 1 abstain. Okay, all right.
thank you.
Yep.
November 13th, workshop meeting.
Is there a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Again, the same Barb, I wasn't present.
Thank you. November 20th, 2014, the regular town board meeting.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay. Items for board action. Item 12A, 2014-4, authorizing adjustment of the mileage reimbursement rate for 2015 to .575, consistent with the rate allowed by the U.S. Internal Revenue Service.
Can I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
Any questions from the board? It was a pretty self-explanatory title, setting the mileage reimbursement rate. Any questions? No, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-5, pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act with respect to amending Town Code Chapter 235, Article 21, signs and tables A, B, C, and D.
Okay, before I ask for a motion for this, I'm actually going to ask Kathy Spencer from the town's engineering firm LaBelle Associates to come forward and address the board on the seeker.
That was the sign code, right?
The sign code, correct, yes.
Yeah, I
We
saw
move
that
forward,
page.
just so everyone's aware. Yeah, we had to move forward because the public hearings can't start before 7:35.
Oh, okay,
So we skipped,
okay.
we
I've
skipped
got
a little
that one
ahead.
too. Okay,
You're
I'm
on
ready.
it. Yep.
We can classify the amendment of the sign code as an unlisted action under seeker, and therefore a short environmental assessment form was prepared. No significant adverse impacts on the environment were identified, and therefore we recommend that the town board consider issuance of a negative declaration. The proposed code provisions will support local businesses while also minimizing potential conflicts between pedestrians, traffic, and signs. They will also reduce visual clutter and improve the appearance and character of commercial areas. We also determined that the code revision is consistent with the town's comprehensive plan recently adopted, and therefore that those are the reasons that we're recommending issuance of a negative declaration.
Great, thanks, Kathy. Does anybody have any questions for Kathy? No? Okay, thank you very much. So can I have a motion on the resolution? And a second?
Second.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-6, amending Chapter 235, Article 21, signs and tables A, B, C, D, amending chapter regarding four local laws of the town code.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. This is the amendment to the town code relative to signs in town. We've had now 3 public hearings on this code change, and just to go back to the original purpose of the law and for a brief explanation. Currently, different regulations governing temporary signs throughout various zoning districts exists in the town of Arundecoit, and it makes it difficult for business owners, in particular, to understand the rules and regulations, but it also makes the town code difficult to enforce. So, over the last several months, we've met with a number of business owners who expressed their frustration with their inability to advertise in an effective way, and we also heard from a number of those business owners as well at the public hearings, which we've had 3 of over the last several months. And it was the view of the town board that at the time when we're encouraging growth in the town of Arundecoit, that it only makes sense to give local business owners the ability to run their businesses in a way that makes them successful. We also, though, are concerned about the look of our town and making sure that we keep our commercial corridors well maintained, which makes it impossible to allow for just the unrestricted use of temporary signs, which is currently, by the way, not allowed in any part of town. So therefore, what this proposal sought to do was to strike a balance between allowing business owners the ability to properly advertise and be successful in their business, but also maintain the quality character of our town and what we hope to see in our commercial corridors. It would bring the commercial, manufacturing, and business residential districts in line with the other business districts in town by allowing these temporary signs, but with reasonable limitations. The signs would have to conform to some guidelines, such as the size and placement requirements. And the code, and this was important to us, this code really does now underscore the fact that Arundecoit really is open for business and open to making sure that our business owners, our local business owners, have the tools that they need to be successful while maintaining the character of our town. And this code change, I strongly believe, also helps clarify the code so that the town staff and our code enforcement officials have clarity and know exactly how to enforce the law, what the law is, and to make sure that it's enforceable, and that business owners as well clearly understand what the code is and how to follow it. So that's really what we've been going through over the last several months and hearing from folks about. Do any of the other town board members have any questions or comments?
I just to add the fact that this was well looked into. Many questions were derived, many questions were answered, and input from businesses were very important to us as a board, and soliciting that input. So we feel that the public had that opportunity, and we feel very strongly this will enhance our community and bring consistency to all of our local businesses. So I appreciate the board's work on it, and it was long overdue. Thank you.
Just to echo that, the staff and Adam, I think they did a very good job in engaging the affected stakeholders. This is the first iteration. This was advanced over the summer, and we got a lot of good feedback from the public. And what we're enacting tonight, I think, is reflective of that. And it's I'm glad we just didn't proceed forward. That we made changes as necessary. And just to commend Adam and Nick Wortherby for their work on this. So I'm happy to support it.
Yeah, and I'm happy to support it as well. I think the staff was very responsive and really listened to all the input from the community. And so I'm thrilled to support it. They worked really hard on it, and it's enforceable. And I think that's important to a lot of people in town. So good job, Adam.
Thanks, Laura.
I'm just glad, it is going to be very enforceable, and I just think that I was glad to see the businesses come out and make comments on it as well, because they are the ones that have a lot of skin in the game, as to say, for this resolution, but I fully support it.
Thank you, John, and I'd like to thank everybody for their input over the last several months. We've talked about this extensively. I also want to thank Director Weatherby and his staff. They in the Development Services Department, they've worked tirelessly on this, and I want to thank them for their patience with this and working through all the issues. This was a good example where we were patient. We listened to the public several times to make sure that instead of doing it quick, we get it done right. So I appreciate everyone's hard work. So with that, I think there was a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And now that it is 7:35,
Is it
we'll
7:35?
have the first public hearing.
Okay.
Public hearing 12A 2014-1 in the matter of Consolidated Sewer District Extension to include 524 List Avenue.
Can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
And a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries, and the public hearing is open. Commissioner Meredith, can you just give a brief explanation of what the public hearing is about?
Sure. I'll just do a quick summary of the
Thanks.
resolution before you vote on it, and after after people have had a chance to get up and speak on this matter. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Arundecoit proposes to extend the Consolidated Sewer District to 524 List Avenue. Whereas the Town Board determines that extension of the sewer services to 524 List Avenue is a Type 2 action pursuant to 6 NYCRR, Section 617.5, C11. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Arundecoit at a regular meeting on November 20th, 2014, called for a public hearing to be held on December 18th, 2014 at 7:35 p.m., and all interested parties who wished to speak were heard on that date. And whereas the Town Board finds that, 1, notice of the public hearing was published and posted as required by law and is otherwise sufficient. 2, that the petition for said extension was signed and authorized or approved or authenticated as required by law and is otherwise sufficient. 3, that all property and property owners within the proposed extension are benefited thereby. 4, that all property and property owners benefited are included within the extension. And 5, that the extension is in the public interest. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby approves the extension of the Consolidated Sewer District to include 524 List Avenue, the total construction cost of which shall be paid for by the owners of 524 List Avenue. This house is approximately 54 years old. It's probably on its original septic system. The system that's currently there is failing, and they wish to tie their home into the Consolidated Sewer District and have their disposal provided for that way. They will pay for all the permitting fees through the town, and that's about $1,300. And I know that there is a property owner across the street that is concerned about his driveway. Since the sewer will be, the lateral from the house will be going underneath List Avenue and into a sewer which is located near his driveway, he is concerned about his asphalt apron. We will be aware of that when the connection is made and make sure that they are made whole with their apron through this construction process.
Great, thank you. I did not see anybody sign up to speak. Was anybody wanted to speak to this public hearing that did not have a chance to sign up? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. The public hearing is closed. Barbara?
Adopt a resolution authorizing the approval of extending the consolidated sewer district to include 524 List Avenue.
Can I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Public hearing 12A 2014-2 in the matter of rezoning 2180 East Ridge Road.
Can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. This resolution is, again, we spoke about this last month. This is for the library located on East Ridge Road. Right now, it is zoned R1, and what this resolution would do would rezone that property to a commercial zoning district, which is more in line with the properties on either side of it on Ridge Road and with the commercial corridor. Are there, I didn't, again, see anyone sign up to speak on the public hearing for this. Was there anybody here who wanted to address the board on the rezoning of the library on East Ridge Road? Seeing none? Okay, I have some motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Adopt a resolution in connection with the State Environmental Quality Review Act regarding an application for the rezoning of 2180 East Ridge Road.
Okay, before I ask for a motion, I'm going to ask our engineer again, Kathy Spencer from LaBelle Associates, to come forward and present the seeker documents.
Okay, we took a look at the rezoning of 2180 East Ridge Road. This action can be classified as unlisted under seeker, and a short environmental assessment form was prepared. Again, we are recommending that the town board consider issuance of a negative declaration. The parcel will remain in municipal use and will remain municipally owned. There's no change in use that's been determined at this time. We did not identify any significant adverse environmental impacts during our review. In fact, we identified positive environmental impacts as the zoning classification will be more in line with the land use around the site and will reduce potential conflicts between the types of uses encouraged by R1 zoning and the existing commercial development in the area. Residential uses north of the parcel at 2180 Ridge Road will be buffered by a fence and a row of mature trees, and the rezoning is consistent with the town's comprehensive master plan. And for those reasons, we did end up with the recommendation to issue a negative declaration.
Great, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Kathy? No? All right, thank you very much. All right. So now can I have a motion on the resolution? And a second?
Second.
Any other questions, comments, or discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Adopt a resolution approving an application for the rezoning of 2180 East Ridge Road.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Second. Okay, and this is the resolution that actually adopts the rezoning of the parcel from R1 to a commercial district. Is there any other question or discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Public hearing 12A 2014-3 in the matter of amending Town Code to include Chapter 44, Town of Arundequoit Recreation and Community Services Law.
Can I have a motion to open the public hearing? Moved. And a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. I'll open up the public hearing with just a brief description of what this Chapter 44 amendment does. As a result of an administrative reorganization currently authorized under Chapter 44 of the Town Code, the amendments to this code makes a couple of changes. The changes are necessary because currently Chapter 44 inappropriately limits the flexibility of the Town Board to adequately staff, organize, oversee, and manage Arundequoit's recreation programs in a way that ensures residents are receiving the best possible programs in a cost-effective manner. It clarifies that the Bureau of Recreation and Community Services is responsible for the planning, coordination, development, and arrangement of recreational programs and projects, as well as programs and projects which aid, assist, and service the needs of the youth, seniors, and people with special needs in our community. This includes all of the programs currently managed by the Recreation Supervisor currently overseeing youth and family recreation programs, and the Recreation Supervisor overseeing senior center programs, as well as our Special Events Coordinator and the support staff. This amendment also gives the Town Board and Supervisor the express authorization to hire staff and officers to carry out these functions, ensuring that organizationally and financially the Bureau is functioning as efficiently and effectively as possible. It also clarifies that the Bureau reports to the Supervisor and the Town Board, thereby ensuring proper oversight of the Bureau, just like any other department in Town Hall. And this will ensure that the programs in the Bureau, that the programs that the Bureau is charged with carrying out, and all of the recreation programs, senior programs, and special events are managed properly, and that all the town codes and policies are followed. So that's essentially what it does in a nutshell. I didn't see anybody signed up to speak tonight. Was there anyone who wanted to address the board who had not had an opportunity to sign up? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing. And a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Adopt a resolution amending Town Code, Chapter 44, regarding Town of Arundequoit Recreation and Community Services Law.
Can I have a motion? And a second? Any other comments or discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A 2014-7, authorizing a provisional promotion to police lieutenant in the Arundequoit Police Department.
Can I have a motion?
Move.
And a second? Okay, Chief, could you just give a brief
Sure.
description?
We're requesting that this position be filled. It's been vacant for a period of time. And after reviewing the resumes and conducting an assessment center with the candidates, myself and Captain Ryan have recommended Sergeant Todd Fitzsimmons for this position. Sergeant Fitzsimmons is a 27-year veteran as a police officer, 24 years with the Arundequoit Police Department. He's been a sergeant for 8 years, supervisor of the technicians unit, member and team leader of the emergency response team, and assigned to a number of major investigations as a result of his technical service experience. Highly decorated police officer. He's a police instructor, very dedicated employee, a resident of the community, and comes highly recommended for this position.
Great, thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the board? No? I would just like to add that, I've known Sergeant Fitzsimmons now and had the opportunity to work with him over the last year and have found him to be an honorable, hardworking member of the team. And I'm very proud to be able to advance this resolution tonight and provide this, I think, much-deserved promotion. So, any other questions?
Just congratulations.
Yes,
It's a
congratulations.
terrific police force, and
Yep.
the ones who are in senior positions in the force, you can tell they're very capable. So congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, and I believe that this was a long-awaited position that needed to be filled, so I'm glad that the process went through successfully for you.
Fantastic. So with that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. I'd like to recognize Lieutenant Todd Fitzsimmons. Congratulations.
Item 12A, 2014-8, authorizing the hiring of Director of Personnel.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second?
Okay, so for this position, as we've discussed, our current Director of Personnel who oversees our Human Resources Department will be retiring, and so while she won't be going far and she'll be very sadly missed around here, the board does need to act on a new full-time replacement for the Director of Personnel. I do want to say this, though. I have had the pleasure of working with Beth for the last, I say for Beth, with Beth for the last 12 months. And she has just been an incredibly valuable member of the team here, helping with the transition earlier this year to make this as seamless as possible, helping me, who's new to the town government this year, find my way. I couldn't have done it without Beth and all of her guidance and knowledge here at the town. And so while I'm very excited about the hiring that we're going to do tonight, and I know we're going to do just fine, it's a bittersweet moment to do this. I know Beth has been with us for a number of years and has touched a lot of people here. So she's been incredible. Like I said, she's not going anywhere for a little while, but I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize Beth and all of her contributions to the town over the years in really getting us to the point that we're at today. So just thank you, Beth, for everything you've done. With that, I do want to say that tonight I'm actually very happy to be able to advance the name of Jason Vanette for the position of Director of Personnel. Jason is an Irondequoit resident and has an extensive background he's bringing with us to the town of Irondequoit. In his previous career and job positions, he's had extensive experience in managing the interviewing process, hiring, and performance evaluation process for employees, managing payroll, budget preparation, and management, supervising personnel, coordinating injury claims and worker compensation processes, and he's also participated in evaluating and advising safety policies and procedures. These are a lot of the skill sets and background necessary, I think, to come into this position, as Beth would tell you. Particularly, what is important here is the budget preparation and management. It is something that the town board really works, and myself, the supervisor, day to day. I don't think a day goes by where I don't speak to Beth right now about budget and about where we are and putting these budgets together for the year. So it's a critical position where we need to have a candidate here that we trust, we know has the right background, but also has this experience, particularly in my mind, in the budget preparation, the management, and the supervising of personnel. And so I'm very happy to advance the name tonight of Jason Vanette. Are there any other comments or
I'll just say
from the board?
I'm very happy we're appointing Jason. He's very much qualified for this, and I know he's someone that's invested in the community as well. He's a very good resident, someone who cares about the community, so we're happy to have him. And I just want to echo Adam in thanking Beth. I had the pleasure of sitting with Beth as we negotiated the new police contract, and her knowledge, along with the chief's knowledge, were invaluable in that process, and it couldn't have gone any more smoothly, and that was basically because we had her and chief. And I remember earlier this year when Adam first started, and there were some changes that we were trying to make relevant to economic development, just restructuring, and we couldn't have done those without Beth and just telling us what was possible, what wasn't possible, and that went smoothly as well, and it allowed us to hit the ground running. So I just wanted to thank you, Beth, and best wishes.
I just want to welcome Jason, and I also want to have some personal, to thank Beth myself. I've been on some negotiations, and she's a wealth of knowledge, and I'm just going to tell Jason to pay attention, and you got a lot to learn, and she's going to be a good teacher for you, and I just want to thank her because she's been, if I need questions answered, I really go to Beth and talk to her, and there's a combination back there to get into her office, and it's all I do is knock. She does let me in. Even though there's a combination back there, I do get back. I get in to see her, but I want to thank her because she's been, many years in town, and she's been one of those employees that I think we all should be grateful to have. Thank you very much, Beth.
Entering my third year on the town board, I must say that I never realized that Beth was the resource for the town. And that's a big compliment simply because any question I would have, Beth would know. Beth would know. And community members that I run into often speak of, is Beth still there? She's been there forever. So obviously your expertise and your qualifications and your ability to work within different administration shows that you have qualities that were well respected. So thank you for your service.
I'll just say, Beth, thank you for always having your door open to me, and that showed me immediately that that's the way you've been with not just me, but with everyone over the years. So I can understand why everyone is saying the things that they are, because just my short time here, I really am grateful to you. And to Jason, you have my confidence, and glad to welcome you in a different position, since you've already been on our zoning board. So you're a really good town person.
Thank you. Jason, you have big shoes to fill, it would appear. So, all right, with that, any other questions or discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor of the appointment of Jason Vanette signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Congratulations, Jason. If you could just stand and be recognized. All right, welcome aboard.
Item 12A, 2014-9, authorizing the 2015 special events calendar.
Moved. And a second?
Second.
Okay. This resolution authorizes the 2015 special events calendar. Special events are obviously something we're very proud of in Irondequoit, and so to get the ball rolling next year, to make sure that we can move forward with scheduling our parades, scheduling our festivals, and getting in place the contracts and service agreements we need to start planning these events. Believe it or not, planning for the 4th of July has already started happening, so these things move quickly. So this authorized the event. A couple new events that are on there. One in particular I wanted to mention again tonight is the first of what's hopefully an annual event, so we'll call it the inaugural, Winterfest. It'll be on January 31st, 2015 from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock, so from noon to 4 o'clock here at the Town Hall grounds. I'll tease it a little bit. We're going to make some announcements on the next couple of weeks of what we're going to have at the festival, but I'll let you know it's going to be a lot of family fun, a lot of arts and crafts for the kids. We're going to have some ice sculpture demonstrations here. We're going to have some sleigh dog and working dog demonstrations, and hopefully, weather permitting, we may even have an ice skating rink on the front lawn of Town Hall. So with that, this resolution allows us to get those planning processes in place and make sure that we have successful special events that we all love and are proud of in Irondequoit. Any other questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-10, authorizing the supervisor to enter into various contracts with vendors for youth and family and senior recreational programming.
Can I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
Thank you. This resolution, again, we offer a number of recreational programs for youth, family, and seniors in our town, and as part of putting on those programs, this resolution will allow us to enter into agreements and negotiate agreements with the vendors who help to put on some of these contracts. Notably, we have a number of contracts that are attached to the resolution, everything from our kids' karate to creative cookers classes. So you could find these all in our activity guide that's published, as well as online, and we're actually taking registrations right now for some of the winter programs that start after the New Year. So if you're interested in seeing the full catalog of the programs and signing yourself up, please go to the town's website, www.arundequoit.org, or give Town Hall a call to learn more information about that. So any other discussion or comments by the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-11, authorizing the purchase of one 2015 Ford Police Utility Interceptor all-wheel drive vehicle.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Chief, you want to just talk about the two resolutions here? They're related.
Absolutely. The first one for the single bid, if you will, is for a 2015 Ford utility vehicle that will be utilized to replace our technical services vehicle, which is currently a Tahoe, Chevy Tahoe, with excessive mileage on it. With the assistance of Sergeant Fitzsimmons, soon to be Lieutenant Fitzsimmons and his team, we were able to craft a proposal which allowed us to, if you will, downsize to the Interceptor, which comes as a savings of about $12,000, moving from a Tahoe-style vehicle to this Interceptor Ford utility. The funding is currently in the 2014 budget and will allow us to replace a vehicle with about 150,000 miles on it. This will be awarded via the New York State contract. Henderson Ford of Webster, New York, has been awarded that New York State contract, and the bid price for that particular vehicle is $28,582.09.
Great. Thank you, Chief. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-12, authorizing the purchase of three 2015 Ford Police Interceptor all-wheel drive utility vehicles.
Is there a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-13, authorizing the award of refuse collection services for various town of Arundequoit facilities.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second? I have Commissioner Meredith from the Department of Public Works give a brief explanation of the resolution.
Sure. We talked about this a little bit at the workshop, and at that time, we did not have a contractor picked for this agreement. We had put this agreement out to bid a month before, and we had unfavorable results in both the turnout for people wanting to bid on this, and then the amount that the one person that did bid on the project, or one company that did bid on the project, have for us. So we did put this back out to put an invitation out on December 4th of this year. We publicly opened the sealed bids on December 12th. And the lowest responsible bidder was Suburban Disposal Corp. in the amount of $16,142. Just for some clarification here, the old bid, or the bid that we had previously received the month before was in the amount of $23,770. So, that's quite a big difference, and with Ann's help putting I guess really going after people, trying to get the number down, we were successful in doing that. So it more fits in line with what we had budgeted for the year, for these services to all of the town facilities that we have, spread out through the town.
Great. Thanks, Pat. Any questions or discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-14, authorizing the supervisor to enter into an agreement with New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services Office of Geographic Information Systems.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. Call on Commissioner Meredith to give another explanation of the resolution.
Sure, Bob is actually going to speak to
Okay.
this one.
Good. This is Deputy Director of Public Works, Bob Kiley.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the town supervisor to enter into an agreement, more or less for a collaborative data sharing, GIS or Geographic Information Systems, a computer-based program which allows us to really pull together many different types of data into a map form. This agreement will more or less allow the town to download quite a bit of this data from external government resources, if that's New York State DEC or New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, Historic Preservation, or Homeland Security, for example. Any of those governmental agencies, the town will now be able to download that data free of charge, of course.
Great. Thanks, Bob. Any questions or discussion from the board?
I would just like to thank Bob for taking the initiative and following up on this. It was a long-awaited program that we probably as a town should have entered many, many years ago because of its value. So we did spend quite a bit of time discussing this with questions at the workshop. So this will prove to be a valuable resource for us in future years. Thanks.
Absolutely. We've doubled the amount of terminals that have GIS capabilities this year. So we've done some great work so far.
Excellent. Thank you.
I know you said it would be cost effective in the long run. Will save money, right, doing this?
Absolutely. It's totally free of charge to enter into this data collaborative. And as soon as the town inventories kind of a lot of our sanitary and storm sewer systems, we'd then be able to give that information out to other municipal agencies that would request it, as we would request many other data sets from a lot of other agencies as well. So yeah, zero cost, and would hopefully be able to allow us to do more work internally as opposed to outsourcing some of our
Right.
data needs or mapping needs, et cetera.
Right, that's what I meant. Yeah, great, thank you.
Very welcome.
All right, thank you. Any other comments or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-15, authorizing the supervisor to execute an agreement with Monroe County regarding snow and ice services for the 2014-15 winter season.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
I'm going to ask Commissioner Meredith again to give an explanation of the resolution.
Yes, so we, each year, this is a standard agreement that the supervisor executes. It's between the town and Monroe County Department of Transportation. Essentially, each year, the amount that the town gets reimbursed for changes slightly, either up or down. A lot of it is, it's kind of based on a 3-year average. So depending on if we have rough winter seasons, typically the rate we end up getting paid the following year is a little bit more. There was a couple years in the recent history where we had some light winters, so our reimbursement went down. However, this year, after last winter, our rate per lane mile will be $271. And for the total of almost 90 miles, the reimbursement that we will receive from the county for the 2014-2015 season will be $359,962.97. That is up $24,297 from last year. So, hopefully that we'll have an average winter this year, and that dollar amount will be favorable for us.
Knock on wood, Pat.
Great, thanks. Any questions or discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-16, Authorizing the supervisor to execute a contract regarding New York State Department of Labor Hazard Abatement Board Occupational Health and Safety Program Grant.
Moved.
And a second?
Second?
Okay. Commissioner Meredith, if, or Deputy Commissioner Kiley, give an explanation?
I was going to, you talked about it quite a bit at the
Actually, I think I
workshop,
did.
so I'll let you.
Actually, why don't I could do it. That's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
What this resolution does is allows us to enter into an agreement. Allows us to apply for grant funding for training through the Department of Labor's Hazard Abatement Board. They have grant funding available through the state for safety training. I think primarily we'd be looking at doing some safety training with our Department of Public Works staff in crews in various fields that would be determined by our safety officer and the commissioner there. And so this, what this resolution allows us to do is to go through the process of applying for the grant funding for next year.
Yeah, if this.
Did you have anything you wanted to add?
If we're successful in this, looking over the courses that they have, there's a good dozen of them here that fit very well with our operations, and hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of this.
Good. Any questions or discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-17, calling for a public hearing on the matter of amending Town Code to include new Chapter 210, Article 2, Town of Arundequoit Business Investment Exemption Law.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. I'll give a brief explanation, actually, to what it is, this new town code, this amendment that we're proposing today. And actually, I think I'm going to be introducing this law tonight. Earlier this year, at the State of the Town address, I promised the community that I would introduce legislation that would expand upon the residential capital improvement investment exemption, and we would expand upon that to include commercial properties. And so tonight, that's what I'm introducing. This legislation is meant to encourage redevelopment, which is the key, I think, to revitalizing some of our existing commercial properties in town. What this legislation would do is it would phase in the tax implication of making certain capital for a period of years, so that any increase in value that results from improvements does not result in an immediate increase in property taxes. The exemption does not reduce the current tax burden on any property owner, and thereby it doesn't. What this proposal does, it doesn't shift the tax burden, but rather what it does is that it slows the rate of future growth in property tax that's caused by the result of an improvement, a capital improvement to someone's property. Part of the reason why I want to do this is because I would never want a business owner, or a homeowner for that matter, to put off making needed improvements that benefit a commercial corridor or residential neighborhood because of perceived tax penalty for doing so. So this legislation, what it does is we also have this same exemption for homeowners, and so and I want to make that clear to folks. So if you make an improvement to your property that creates an immediate increase in the assessed value of that property and therefore would affect the tax that you pay, we have an exemption for that allows you to phase in that increase over a period of years, available through the assessor's office. What this program does is makes that available now to the commercial properties in town, so that we can invest now and start to attract new businesses, but also for the current businesses that are open in Arundequoit and for our current developers to really encourage them to invest in their properties and do so without incurring what could be perceived as a penalty. The legislation also creates a board that would oversee and consider an enhanced exemption that can be applied to particular industries that we want to encourage in town, such as restaurants or retail, or it can also be considered certain locations in town that are in particular need of an upgrade. So the resolution tonight would set a public hearing to consider that proposal, and the public hearing would be scheduled for next month's town board meeting on January 15th. So are there any questions or discussion about that? Okay, seeing none, we'll discuss it a lot more at the January meeting. So all those in favor of the public hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-18, appointing an alternate member to the Town Zoning Board of Appeals.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. So tonight, earlier this year, we amended the town code to allow for alternate members of our zoning and planning boards to make sure that the boards are functioning as efficiently and smoothly as possible so we can continue to do business in town and make sure we have quorums. And tonight, I'm very happy to advance the name for an alternate member of the zoning board, and that individual will be Andre Evans. Andre is a active member of the community who dedicates a lot of time to Irondequoit, particularly service organizations in town. He's a fellow Kiwanian. And his most recent work experience is from the United States Army, where he served in Afghanistan. Andre's experience as a project manager, background in leadership development, and his service as a community-minded volunteer and a public servant, I think gives him a well-rounded experience that would be a good fit for the board, gives him good background to serve on the board, and I think would be a good fit. And so I wanted to advance the name of Andre Evans tonight. Any other comments or discussions from the board? No?
Welcome aboard, Andre. We're happy to have you, and this is the most extensive resume I've ever read.
That's true. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Andre, congratulations.
Item 12A, 2014-19, reappointing a zoning board of appeals chairman.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
All waiting.
Oh, we're in trouble there. This resolution, currently our chairman of the Irondequoit Zoning Board of Appeals is Jim Hinman, and this resolution would reappoint him as chairman of the board. He has served as chairman since 2007 and has served on the zoning board since 2006. I've known Jim for a number of years and have had the pleasure of watching how he interacts with the board and leads the public hearings and the discussion. I think he does so in a professional, dignified manner. I think the zoning board deals with some complex issues, and I think Jim has a good way of working with folks and navigating that, so I feel entirely comfortable asking him. I've had a conversation with him, and I know he's enjoyed his service on the board, enjoyed serving as chairman, and so I feel entirely comfortable asking him to stay on and do this work, which is a lot of work for really no pay. So he's good of him to do this for us. So anybody have any comments or discussion?
Yes, I would wholeheartedly support this chairmanship. And I've known Jim for quite a few years now, and he is not only a dedicated community member, he's also a Boy Scout leader involved in all wonderful aspects of the community, and he loves his job. And I would never want to be the one to take that away from him.
Yeah, right.
And he does a great service, and he is very good at it. So.
Good. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-20, reappointing a zoning board of appeals member.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. So this resolution is to reappoint Joseph Antini to another term on the zoning board. Again, the zoning board deals with a lot of complex issues and is important to make sure that that we're meeting the needs of our residents and also the business owners coming to town and interpreting the code and working with our planning department to make sure that we're open and accessible. And so I think Joe has been doing a great job for the last several years. I know it's a lot of work, and a lot of work goes into this, and again, for no pay. So it's a real public service position and a way to serve your community. I think Joe's been just doing a fantastic job. So I feel very comfortable advancing his name again to be reappointed to another term on the zoning board. Anybody have any other?
No, I personally know Joe, and I want to thank him because, they're committing to 7-year terms. And I see it expires in 2021, so thanks, Joe, and, they do a great job over there. And someone that wants to commit to the full term on the zoning board, and he's been on there already, is definitely committed to it, so thank you.
Okay, so with that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Congratulations, Joe.
Item 12A, 2014-21, reappointing a planning board member.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. This resolution is, again, to make another reappointment, this time to the Planning Board, and this would be for Michael Palermo. His term expires at the end of this year, and so this would reappoint him to another 7-year term. And again, this is another incredible, good public servant. I've had the opportunity to talk to Michael several times this year, and I think has been doing an outstanding job. In working through the meetings and doing his homework. So I think Michael, in my view, deserves another term and has been doing fantastic work. So, any other questions or discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-22, filling one Arundequoit Library Board of Trustees vacancy.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second. Okay, before I open it up to too much discussion about the new candidate, I do want to say a special word of thanks. David Heffer has been has been serving on the Library Board of Trustees for over 20 years, and he has chosen not to seek reappointment to the board. I do know he's going to continue his work in the foundation, but he has been integral to the success of the library, particularly the new library project. And so he really helped get us to where we are today over the course of the years, and in large part, thanks to him and his work and the work of his colleagues, we're going to be celebrating a brand new library by this point next year. So I want to thank David for his years of service to the town, years of service on the library board. I know he's going to be missed, but we do have another name to advance today, and that name, we posted the position and interviewed a number of residents. We had great applicants. This was actually a very difficult decision to make. David has big shoes to fill, and we had a lot of great applicants, and I really do mean that. And it's unfortunate we can really only appoint one tonight. But the one that stood out and was a unanimous recommendation from the interview committee is a gentleman named Mark McBride. Mark currently serves as the Director of Library Services at Monroe Community College. And in part is responsible for setting and coordinating the strategic direction for their library. He has a particular background in new technology and innovations in libraries, programs, and services. And with that particular skill set and background, I thought it was interesting that we'd have this opening at this time with this applicant while we're building a new library. And we've discussed this 100 times, that a library is a lot more than just a repository for books. A library is much more of a community center. It's much more of a place for technology, for people coming together and being able to obtain information. It's a place really where you gather information and you can access this technology that you might not otherwise have at home or have access to. And Mark's background and experience in that field and help building this library over at MCC, I think it was just an interesting timing that this would happen, and an interesting applicant that came before us. And so I thought his talents uniquely fit the time at which he was given this opportunity. So we're advancing the name tonight. Does anybody have any comments or discussion?
First of all, on Dave Heffer, I being the liaison to the library board, I want to thank David too. I wish him well, but he's done a real great job, and again, he's been committed to the library board for 20 years, so that tells you something about the individual. And also, I'm glad he's staying on with the foundation, because he'll be a great asset to the foundation for the library. On Mark McBride, I think, with the library, the planning that the library's been talking about for the last quite a while, is building a new library, okay? So now they can finally check that off, and I think they're going to, the plans are going forward. Mark's going to be a great asset for that, because they're going to start a whole new plan for moving the library forward, and he's going to be a great asset for that. He's going to bring a lot of knowledge, a lot of ideas for that. And all the applicants we had, like Adam said, were really great, but there'll be an opportunity for someone that did not get picked yesterday. So I'm glad, because I feel a little better that there'll be an opportunity for someone else to step up and be on the board of the library as well, too. So, but thank you, David, and I welcome Mark McBride as a trustee to the library board.
I found it interesting, and I was happy to read that Mark McBride and his family actually moved into Arundequoit recently, and one of the reasons was because of the new library.
That's right.
Pretty neat. He's got great experience for us, so I'm excited.
Okay. With that, any other? Oh, I'm sorry, Irina.
Thank you.
Yep. Sorry.
I'd like to acknowledge and thank David Heffer. I served on the library board for 6 years. And prior to that, I had been going to library meetings and such. And David Heffer has been an instrumental advocate for the library for many, many years. His passion for the library, his passion for the community really resounds. And I'd like to thank him for his service and hopefully continued service in our community. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Mark McBride for putting his name forward. I had met him on 4th of July at the parade and was very impressed with him. We had just run into each other and started talking about the library, and he said that he had moved to the community because of the library. And I looked at him and I said, really? I was taken back, because I said not too many people I have met before who wanted to move in because of the new structure that we were having as a community. So that invigorated me. And when I heard his name come up, I said, is that the same gentleman? What does he look like? And come to find out, it's Mr. McBride. So I wholeheartedly support his nomination.
Thank you. Okay. With that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-23, amending a resolution filling one Arundequoit Library Board of Trustees vacancy.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. This resolution is necessary. What this really does is amends a resolution that was passed last year in 2013 that appointed a member of the Library Board of Trustees, Francine Mannion, to a term that expires in 2017. The resolution should have read December 31st, 2018. Service on the Library Board is a 5-year term. So this resolution just amends and fixes the term of office there. Any other comments or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-24, approving the special event license for the American Red Cross to hold a blood drive at the Arundequoit Town Hall.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. And this is great. We did this a few months ago, if you remember. We passed a special event license for the Red Cross a couple months ago to host a blood drive here, and it was enormously successful. They had set a goal for us, I think around 15 donations would have made a successful event, and I think we had about 30. So we doubled what they said would be successful, and so we're very proud of that, in large part to the community and as well to the town hall staff who gave a few moments to give some blood on their break. So I really do appreciate that, and I think January we thought was a good time to do it again. So I also want to thank Sarah Culp from my office for her help in putting this together and coordinating this with the Red Cross, and hopefully we'll have another successful. It is open to the public, and again it's going to be on January 13th here at Town Hall, right here in the Broderick Room. And I know myself and the town board members will be here donating blood, so if you'd like to see us do that, come on by. We'll tweet out some pictures and make sure everybody comes
we had
down.
a quorum at the last blood drive of the
Yeah,
town
I know, you
board,
gotta be
so
careful.
That should be our goal.
Yeah, well. Yeah, well, that's true. I did make cookies for the last blood drive, so if you do donate cookies, you can, or donate blood, you can have some of my homemade cookies, so. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Item 12A, 2014-25, approving the 2015 regular town board and workshop meeting dates.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second? Second. All right, thank you. Again, this just continues the same schedule we've had for this year into next year for the town board meeting dates. The workshop meetings will be on the second Thursday of every month at 4 o'clock here in the Broderick Room, and the regular town board meetings will be the third Thursday of each month at 7 o'clock here in the Broderick Room. The same schedule we've had for the last 12 months to continue into 2015. Did we have a motion and a
Moved.
second? Motion?
You had a motion?
A second? All right.
And
Any
a second.
questions or discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. That was the last agenda item. Our next workshop meeting, per the schedule we just approved, is January 8th, 2015, and the next regular town board meeting will be January 15th, 2015. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
And a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Holidays. So, have a good night.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Arundecoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Arundecoit's government access channel.